What's up guys, today I'm doing a general maintenance video, so I'm going to show you guys how to really put your scooter together and then dial it as well. So the number one common thing I have to do at work is dial some kid's scooter, and they think something is seriously wrong with it when it's something literally as little as the back wheel being loose. So it's a very, very common thing. So it's either one of two things, the back wheel being loose or it's the compression being loose. So I'm going to show you guys how to put a custom scooter together and then also dial it. It's quite a common thing that I get asked at Scooter Hut, how to dial a scooter. So I really want to give back to you guys and teach you guys how to do this stuff. You guys can do it at home and not have to come into a store or rely on a store to do something as simple as tighten your back wheel or tighten your compression. I've just pulled my scooter apart and I'm going to put everything back onto it. But I've got my fork here, my Flavor Boris, the animal forks. These things are really sick. I've got my Flavor SCS here. I've got my brand new Rogue wheels as well. I rode them for a day. My black Affinity T-bars. I've had these for a while. And the custom Aztec deck. This thing is beautiful. I love this thing. So when I'm essentially building a custom scooter at work, the first thing I do is I like to put the grips on. We do use hairspray to get the grips on. That's because we don't have an air compressor. So the reason we use hairspray is because it goes on slippery and dries sticky. So it's pretty quick drying if you use the right amount. So the reason we put the grips on first is because by the time we finish putting the scooter together, the grips should be dry. So I'd usually start off with the grips. I'm not going to do that. I already have the grips on my scooter, but I'm going to start off by putting the front wheel in my fork. So I need my Allen keys here. I need two 5mm Allen keys. I've got my Allen key set here and a 5mm Allen key. So I'm just going to undo my fork and put my front wheel straight in. If you guys do have pretty loose spaces in your front wheel like my one here, they like to wobble around quite a bit. I get my 5mm Allen key, I put it inside the wheel, and I wobble it around to get the spacer out of the way, and then I push the axle right through. I just wobble the 5mm Allen key in a circle to try and move the spacer around. So then that way the axle actually wants to go through. So we're just doing the wheel up now. I'm going to have to get my other 5mm Allen key in just a second because this is going to keep spinning. So I grab my other 5mm Allen key right here, and I want to do this one up nice and tight. So because I do have the Rogue wheels here, and I do have on one side, as you guys can see, I do have the star pattern here. I do like to have them on the same side. So I'm going to put my back wheel, so this is on the left, facing the left side. So because my forks are going to be this way, I'm going to have the back wheel going the same way. I like to match everything up. So my axles as well. If I have two 6mm axles, so the high tensile axles, I'll both have the nuts the same way. I don't know, it's just a little thing I like to do. You guys don't have to do that, but I'm just telling you what I like to do. Alrighty, so next up, I'm going to put the back wheel on. So I like to do the wheels first. Like I said, put the fork in. Now I'll do the back wheel. Because I'm running the Aztec deck, I do need a 6mm Allen key. It really depends on what deck you guys are running. If you guys have an AOS V2, V3, V4, whatever, and you have two 5mm Allen keys, obviously you're going to need to use two 5mm Allen keys. Because I have the Aztec deck, the dropouts actually hold the nut, so I don't need anything but a 6mm Allen key. So I'm going to get this thing loosed up, and then I'm going to put my back wheel on. So what I like to do is I like to leave my axle in there a little bit, so I'll hold the front spacer in, so when I put the wheel in, it doesn't want to knock out. So I'm going to try to do this while holding it towards you guys. As you can see, the axle is holding the spacer in, so I'm just going to move that out the way a little bit and shove the axle right through, if it wants to go through. That one went through really easy. So now, I'm going to grab my 6mm Allen key again, give this a nice tighten. So when you guys drop your scooter and you're hearing some vibrations, it generally comes from either the back end here, so it can be the back wheel or the brake, or it's from the compression, like I said earlier. So a really good way for you guys to tell where the vibrations or noises are coming from is just to grab one side of the scooter and drop it down. So if I had the fork in right now, I'd just lift the back end up and I'd drop the back end down, and to see if there was any vibration or any noise coming from the back. If it wasn't happening, I'd do the same thing for the front. I'd lift the front up and drop it down while holding pressure on the back, because that's going to stop the vibration at the back, and then you'll know if it's your compression that's loose or it's your back wheel. But if it's your back wheel that's loose, again, it's something as simple as having two 5mm Allen keys, and when you're doing the bolts up, you want to be pushing really hard against it while turning. That way it's not going to want to strip, so you're having pressure going in, not just kind of twisting to the side so it doesn't want to strip. That's nothing worse than stripping a bolt and punching a deck or a clamp or anything like that. If you guys have ever done that, you guys know how much it sucks. I've done that quite a lot lately. I've got a lot of scabs and stuff on my hand from people bringing in scooters that have got absolutely torn up bolts and trying to tighten them up and just punching the table or something like that. I don't actually run a brake, so I'm not putting a brake on that one today. Next up, we're going to put the forks in. So for me to put the forks on, I need to take off this compression bolt right here. So I'm just going to undo this one right here. And then I'm going to slide it on through. like so. Now, get my SCS out of the way. Now I'm going to grab my top bearings, get it like this, just shove it on in. The top is quite loose, so it just slides in there nicely. The bottom ones are very stuck in there though. Now I'm going to get my dust cap. You guys don't necessarily need a dust cap. The reason I'm running a dust cap is because I need it for the spacers, because my forks are a little long. The reason you guys pretty much don't need a dust cap or a top cap is because most decks have a giant hole in the front of the scooter anyway, so dirt is going to get in there regardless if you have one, so I don't really recommend it because it usually just drags along the headset cup. When you do bar spins, that's quite a common thing, but I'm going to put it on there for a spacer and chuck my SCS on. So, put my SCS on and put the cap in, like so. So same thing as what I said before, if you want to just drop the back end or drop the front end to kind of see where the noise is coming from, that's how you're going to indicate what you need to tighten. There's a couple of different kinds of compression. There's IHC, HRC, SCS, ICS. There's probably more that I don't know of. They're the 4 main compressions. I'm running SCS, so the bottom 2 bolts hold onto the fork, where the top 2 bolts hold onto the bar. So I actually need to tighten the cap inside here, but if you're running HRC or IHC, it's quite simple. You just need to tighten it with a 5mm Allen key. Most of them are 5mm Allen keys. I know the root ones are 6, but the NBs are 5 as well. So you just need to give that a bit of a tighten. You obviously need to slide your bar off to get to it. Because I am running SCS, I will try and line my clamp up with my fork and wheel, because when I put the bar on, I like to be nice and flush and straight. So I'm going to try and straighten that one up before I put the bars on. It looks pretty good. With one hand, I'll hold the fork while kind of holding the compression at the same time, so I'll kind of switch between the two. I'll do a little crank on each one, so I'll hold the fork, grab up, jump up, hold the crank a little bit until it's nice and tight. So I have my headset really, really tight, and the reason I have my headset really tight is because when it backs off from all the stress and all the vibrations, it's still going to be tight. Now I only have it so my headset will spin about once, maybe not even once, but one thing I do notice about kids that come into the store is they like to have their headsets super, super, super loose. They expect it to spin 400 times, and that's not the case. When you actually have your bars on, the momentum is going to spin much faster. So you have to have it that little bit tight. So you do need to have it quite tight, so when it does back off, it's still going to be nice and tight. It's not going to wobble and come loose instantly. That's something I've noticed. Now I've pretty much got everything together so far. I'm just going to chuck my bars in there, and then that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you need to know about dialing your scooter. It's just literally a 5mm Allen key or a 6mm Allen key and a socket if you need it. It's something you guys can do very easily from home. So I'm now going to put my bars on. I've lined my fork up and my SCS, so I'm going to slide the bar on in there. So the reason I have my forks backwards right now is because I like to look down the SCS, so it's nice and straight, and then I kind of straighten the bars up before I put it on the ground, so they're going to be nice and straight. So I have to do minimal tuning to it. So I'm going to nip it up just a tiny bit so it's very hard to move, so it's not going to go moving on me before I hit it on the ground. So I just tighten up with my 6mm Allen key here. Now I want to do it up very, very slightly. I don't want to do it up too much. I'm just going to chuck this on the ground real quick, see if they're nice and straight. It's off a little bit. Oh, geez, kicked it the wrong way. That's looking good. So now I'm just going to do it up again. Just do one bolt at a time until it starts to bite, and then when you get to the bottom bolt here, you want to go in 2, so you want to go from the bottom to the second one, down to the third, to the first. So down the bottom to the second, half or quarter turn, whatever it wants to do. And then that's it. That's pretty much everything you guys need to know about dialing or maintaining your scooter. It's very easy. You guys can definitely do this from home. You obviously can't tell how dialed it is on there, but it is very dialed. I'll take it outside, do a bit of a drop test. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. What do you guys want to see? More maintenance videos? Do you want me to teach you how to grease headsets, grease bearings, fix creaking noises in your headsets and bearings, that kind of stuff? I can do anything you guys want to see. I can do reviews. I can do how-tos on tricks. I can do maintenance stuff again. Let me know in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, guys. Give this a like, subscribe, do all that kind of good stuff. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.